Why would Zuck pay billions to rent Google's chips when he already owns the most H100s in the world? Because Google TPUs just did something Nvidia chips can't, and Jensen Huang is furious that the secret is finally out.
Meta owns over 600,000 Nvidia GPUs, more than any company on Earth. They spent $65 billion on AI infrastructure this year alone. And yet, this week, Meta signed a multi-billion-dollar deal to use Google's custom TPU chips instead. Not a small test, not a pilot program, a multi-billion-dollar commitment. The question everyone is asking is simple. Why?
A single Nvidia H100 costs $30,000 to $40,000. Meta owns over 600,000 of them. That's $21 billion in Nvidia hardware, sitting in Meta's data centers right now. Jensen has always said this is his moat. He told investors, nobody leaves CUDA. The switching costs are too high. Our ecosystem is unbreakable. He was wrong. And here's the number that proves it. 40%. Industry analysts estimate Google's TPUs deliver AI training at up to 40% lower cost than Nvidia's GPUs at scale. At Meta's scale of spending, that's not a rounding error. That's $26 billion in potential savings. Over time, that's more than most companies are worth. But cost wasn't even the main reason Meta signed this deal. The real trigger? Nvidia couldn't deliver fast enough. Meta needed chips now. Nvidia's wait time stretched 6 months, sometimes longer. In the AI arms race, 6 months means your competitor ships a better model before yours even starts training. Meta couldn't afford to wait. Google offered guaranteed supply, immediate cloud access. No 6-month line. But here's what makes this deal truly dangerous for Jensen. The chips weren't even the point.
This is what nobody is reporting. When Nvidia sells a chip, the relationship ends. Meta buys H100s, plugs them into Meta's own servers. Nvidia collects payment, done. Nvidia has no cloud, no software platform, no ongoing service, just hardware in a box. Google's deal works completely differently. Meta doesn't buy chips to take home. Meta accesses TPUs through Google Cloud. The chips stay on Google servers. Meta's AI workloads run on Google's infrastructure. Google's chips, Google servers, Google software stack, Google's optimization tools. Every model Meta trains on TPUs uses JAX framework, not CUDA, not Nvidia's tools. And once Meta's engineers rebuild their entire pipeline around Google's stack, switching back isn't just expensive, it's nearly impossible. This is what Google TPUs can do that Nvidia chips can't. Nvidia sells you a chip. Google sells you a universe. Hardware plus cloud plus software plus guaranteed supply. An entire alternative ecosystem to CUDA, built for scale, proven by the biggest AI spender on Earth. That's the secret Jensen didn't want out. Not that Google's chip is faster, not that it's cheaper. It's that the chip war isn't about chips anymore. It's about ecosystems, and Nvidia doesn't have one.
Jensen Huang spent a decade building one narrative. CUDA is king. CUDA is untouchable. Every AI researcher knows CUDA. Every framework runs on CUDA. Leaving is unthinkable. And for 10 years, that narrative held. Companies complained about prices, complained about wait times, complained about dependence, but nobody left, because where would they go? Now they have somewhere to go. And the worst part for Jensen, Meta just proved it works. Right now, every CTO at every major AI company sees this headline. They are
all having the exact same conversation. If Meta, the company with the most Nvidia GPUs on Earth, chose Google's chips, why are we still locked in? Amazon already builds its own AI chip called Trainium. Microsoft is developing one called Maya. AMD is pushing its MI300X hard. But none of them had validation. None of them had a customer as massive as Meta saying publicly, yes, this works. We're spending billions on it. Meta just gave the entire industry a permission slip to leave Nvidia.
Nvidia made over $130 billion last year, the vast majority selling AI chips to companies exactly like Meta. Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, these are Nvidia's golden customers. One of them just signed with Google. If just 20% of Nvidia's customers diversify their chip spending, that's $26 billion in annual revenue at risk. That's more than the entire GDP of Iceland, Malta, and Barbados combined. Gone. Wall Street noticed immediately. Nvidia's stock felt pressure. Analysts started asking questions Jensen hasn't had to answer before. Jensen is fighting back. Nvidia is accelerating its chip releases. The Blackwell architecture is shipping now. Next generation Rubin is coming fast. There are reports of quiet pricing adjustments, discounts appearing for the first time. Remember, Nvidia never had to negotiate on price before. Never. They named a number, you paid it. That era is ending. Remember that 90% market share from earlier? Analysts now project it drops to 70, maybe 75% within 2 years. Still dominant, still massive, still the leader, but no longer a monopoly.
So let's come back to the question we started with. Why would Zuck, the man who owns more Nvidia chips than anyone alive, pay billions to rent Google's? Not because Google's chip is magically faster, not just because it's cheaper, because Google offered something Nvidia structurally cannot, an entire ecosystem. Chips plus cloud plus software plus guaranteed supply. All integrated, all scalable, all designed so that once you're in, you never need Nvidia again. Jensen Huang built the most valuable chip company in human history on one belief, that CUDA was unbreakable, that no customer would ever risk leaving. This week, his biggest customer proved that belief wrong. Nvidia isn't dying. Jensen Huang isn't finished, but the secret is out now. The chip war was never about chips. It's about ecosystems. And for the first time in a decade, Nvidia isn't the only one that has one.